Are we live? It doesn't. Is there a lag? It's fine. Well, hi everybody. This is so weird. It's like we're in the middle of this whole pandemic thing, and everybody's communicating via social media. It's just kind of crazy. So yeah, I see it on there now. So we're live. Hey, it's Tony Wash, Scotchworthy Productions. Thanks for coming out and joining us tonight for this first ever Scotchworthy Watch Party. I figure, kind of looking around the internet right now, everybody's doing watch parties. It seems like mostly it's musicians playing music for their fans, and I'm not a good musician, so I kind of thought, well, maybe we could do something a little bit different. We've got a whole bunch of really cool footage and stuff from movies like The Rake that no one's ever seen, and I thought that this would be a really great opportunity to take advantage of something like this, a medium to get it out there for people to watch and have them see this stuff for the first time. And thankfully, my buddies Kiko and Jim decided to kind of help set this up. But we wanted to kind of do a little bit of a test run first, so we thought we'd go with a short film before jumping to a big feature, just to make sure everything ran okay. And so Jim kind of said, "Hey, I really love A Chance in Hell. Why don't we put this together and show that?" And seeing as to how this is the 10-year anniversary of A Chance in Hell, we thought that this would be a really cool event to do. And hopefully everybody enjoys it. Thanks for joining us. So a little quick story with A Chance in Hell. Basically, back in 2009, my director of photography on A Chance in Hell, Mitch Martinez, had given me a call. We met on It's My Party and I'll Die If I Want To, which is a feature that I shot from 2005 to 2007 when I was going to school out in Pittsburgh for special effects. And Mitch had come out and had been a part of some of the pickup shots where we added some extra death scenes and stuff like that to the movie a year after we shot principal of the film. And so Mitch and I became good friends. We really enjoyed working together. And he had gotten a Red camera, which at the time was this awesome 4K, back before there were things like 4K TVs and stuff. And he had this awesome camera, and he said, I really want to do something creative with it. I want to do something narrative instead of industrial and commercial videos. So he's like, if you can come up with a script or an idea, or if you want to do a trailer for one of your movies, I'll come out to Chicago from Philadelphia and we'll do it. And so I talked to my buddy Johnny Hulusik, who co-wrote A Chance in Hell with me, and we started talking about it, and we said, why don't we do a World War II Nazi zombie film? At the time, nobody had really done anything like that, and I'd been bartending at the time, and I had a regular named Steve Thompson who ran DixieDevilDiver.com, which is a World War II and other military memorabilia website, and he's been collecting stuff since the 1960s. So he's amassed this amazing collection of equipment and wardrobe and weaponry from all the different wars from World War I all the way to present day. And he always told me, if you ever want to use any of my stuff as props for movies, just let me know. So we reached out to him. He was all about it, and within a couple of months, we were quick on the way to getting this film under production, and we ended up shooting for 8 days in January and February of 2010. We were shooting in Elgin, Illinois, in a 100-year-old factory. It was 18-hour plus days each day of the 8 days shooting. I remember getting an hour of sleep a night those 8 nights. It was absolutely crazy. I think everybody else was on just about as much sleep as I was, and I'm pretty sure half of them, if not most of them, wanted to kill me by the end of it. But I think that we all came together and made a really awesome movie. It ended up becoming part of the framework for what I think Scotchworthy founded itself on, which is high production value, awesome practical special effects. And I'm really proud of what the team created. So I really appreciate all the work. And I hope that you guys all enjoy it. And I appreciate you all joining me. After the movie's done, we're going to kind of hang around and we can chat a little bit about it. You can write comments on the post. and we can read them off and I can answer questions. We can talk about it. I can bring up stories. I really don't want to ramble that much, but I'm more than happy to answer whatever questions you may have and reminisce with you however we can. We do not believe that if we share or if you share the video on your page and someone comments on that, we don't know if we'll be able to see it here. So if somebody wants to ask a question and wants to know that we'll see it, please go to my profile and actually comment on the post that we are sharing this video from originally. Okay? Otherwise, without further ado, I hope you enjoy A Chance in Hell. Thanks again for coming.
Für dich. Hab leer. Oder hab voll. Fortschritt. Verschlag. Was für eine Nummer hat sie?
32.
Wenn Sie keinen Erfolg haben, immer wieder versuchen. Komm. Du wirst bald Urlaub haben, richtig?
Ja?
Wirst du deine Familie besuchen?
Ja? Meine Frau hat mir ein Bild von meiner Tochter geschickt. Sie ist so erwachsen geworden. Kommst du klar?
Sie ist so hübsch.
Ja, danke.
Bitte, auf den Tisch. Ja. Ja. Einfach entspannen. Einfach entspannen.
Ah, ta. Noch nicht, meiner Kleiner.
Was passiert? This ain't no ride like different. Lay down! change too? Oh, shit. Oh, God. Jesus Christ.
Captain.
I'm gonna change too.
You know what you
I don't
gotta
want
do.
to change! Man, settle the fuck down, man. Random recarnage in my ass!
Calm that shit down right now, CT. Chester. Chester. We need to move. Drop anything that will help you kill or keep you alive.
Are we in hell?
On your feet, soldier.
Sarge, only shots fired was from everyone in this room.
I know.
I got no problem. These Nazis just want to get shot.
Nazis, these ain't like no fucking crowds we've been fighting before.
That's why we gotta get word of command. Blow this place straight back to hell.
So what's the plan then, Sarge?
We need to find a radio.
Radio? Shouldn't we be trying to get the hell out of here?
Only if we find the motor pool first. Come on, let's move. Is he dead?
Assume so, sir.
What are you doing? Take the rear.
Hark!
Hey, Sarge. I think we're in the clear.
We move forward quietly. No lights. You gonna put that axe down, maybe pop on a flashlight?
I got a good idea when I'm gonna put it down, Sarge.
Don't much like our odds if you get to a point where you're swinging that hatchet.
Yeah, agreed.
Hey, in all fairness, fellas, I left.
Okay, stay together. Keep your eyes peeled. Hey, you put down that gun right now. Put it down.
Nick schießen!
All right, get on your knees.
Ich bin
Get on your knees.
Fucking crowd.
I'm sorry. Don't be fucking sorry.
It's your job, Private. They kill us, we kill them. Never hesitate. All right, odds are they heard those shots. We gotta keep moving. Come on me. All right, I'm betting the power's downstairs. We get the power turned back on, then we're out of here. Let's move. Okay, here we go. All right, guys, keep it tight. All right, Chester, on this door. Cool. Have a look around. Cool. Stay close. Hey, what do you say we take a look up this damn skirt, huh?
Thought you never asked, sir.
You know, to answer your question.
What? Is that how you like our odds?
I'd like to think the phrase "a chance in hell" still implies a chance.
Yeah, but I think the phrase starts with "not," sir.
There's a hallway down here. Could lead to the motor pool.
But Sarge said to stay close, Coop.
I got this by the balls. Jesus, was that a kid?
What? Wait.
Hey, watch my six, Jesser.
Coop.
Kill the chatter, Private. That should do it.
Yeah. All right. This place better have a damn radio.
Yeah, I'd rather find a pants.
Coop?
What's going on out here, Corporal? Where's Jesser?
I could have swore I saw a kid run around the back of the boiler room. I went to go check it out, but when I
Slow
get back...
down. Did you see anything?
No, sir. I just came back around the boiler and saw his flashlight spinning on the ground.
And the kid?
He ran off that way.
What do? We find him.
I can't go in there.
Do it yourself. Rick.
Oh!
fucking radio.
Am I back? There's a 30-second delay, so I don't exactly know if I'm back or not, but they're telling me that I'm back. So I hope everybody enjoyed the movie. It's a quick one, but that's what I think is so great about A Chance in Hell is it's pretty much nonstop action from start to finish. But again, I'm really proud of this movie. You know, I think that everybody came together. We had 70 plus people on set between the cast, the crew. You know, as I said in the comments there, if you had been reading through them while we were watching the movie, at one point we had 36 zombie extras on set, which, if you can imagine, took forever for the effects team to do all those makeups. So, you know, a shout out to them. But really everybody involved with the project, everyone was top notch from start to finish, and it was really great being a part of this and just seeing the enthusiasm from the entire team, despite the fact that we were working on no sleep, and you know, this old factory didn't exactly have luxurious conditions, or you know, at the time we weren't catering it with anything lavish, and in some of those exterior scenes, again, this is January in Chicago, so it was pretty cold. As I'd said in some of the posts earlier today, one of the actresses actually had to go to the hospital because it was so cold that night. But again, thank you for being here. And I'm more than happy to sit and answer questions right now. A lot of the cast and crew are also in the comments right now. So if you have specific questions, they can always jump on and answer in their comments as well. But I know I saw the first question I had seen is someone had asked if there was any plans for a feature-length version of A Chance in Hell. Now, as I said, we made this back in 2010. At that time, there were no other Nazi zombie films, except unless you want to go back to the 1970s, like Shockwaves and Zombie Lake and that type of stuff. But unfortunately, once we made the short film, we put the trailer on YouTube, and within a weekend we had thousands of views on it, and we got a sales agency in LA to come on board, and they took it and represented it at Cannes that spring. The really great thing is they got a bunch of pre-sales offers attached. This is back in the time when you could still get a pre-sale offer on a movie. And so we were rolling full speed ahead at getting a feature made. My co-writer Johnny and I ended up putting together a feature-length script. I thought it was awesome. It expanded upon this, where the short film is basically the first 30 minutes of the movie. At the end of it, you have Sergeant Draper escaping narrowly with his life from the secret facility, and once he goes past that body pit, which is now empty, he goes off into the woods and returns to this small village where the rest of his platoon is stationed up. And at this point, all of this horde of creatures comes and attacks the village. And so it's not just him, but this entire group of American soldiers that have to fight off this horde of monsters. And the nefarious Herr Bucher comes back and reprises his role at the end of the movie there. And so it would have been a really great time. We were looking at shooting up in Canada, and the producers had found an old NORAD base in Ontario that we were going to shoot in, which was super cool. It was like this huge underground like nuclear facility. They had attached Ralph Singleton to produce it. He was going to be the executive producer. He did most notably Graveyard Shift, Pet Sematary, the original, Murder at 1600, and ultimately, you know, the way the Hollywood story goes is it just didn't end up working out. You know, the pieces didn't fall into place the right way, and ultimately we didn't end up getting the film going. So then shortly after that, we had another group of people out of the United Kingdom that were very interested in turning the movie into a feature, but they wanted to do something at a smaller budget level. We're talking like around $500,000. So Johnny and I went back to the drawing board, and we completely rewrote the script, where we intended on reshooting the 35-minute short film and putting it all together and having the entire 90-minute film take place within this secret Nazi facility, much like the 30-minute short took place in. And so that, again, seemed like it was picking up steam, and then one thing led to another, and it didn't end up happening. So at this point now, you've seen Dead Snow, you've seen Frankenstein's Army, You've seen Overlord, which a lot of people were commenting on in this. Overlord is very similar to what A Chance in Hell is, and you know, it's awesome because I think Overlord's a really great movie. I love Frankenstein's Army too, so if you haven't seen those and you like A Chance in Hell, I highly recommend you go and check those out because they are taking what we created here for less than $10,000 and blow it up big time with a huge studio budget, and I think that both of those movies are a good representation of what this idea could be had we had the time and money to do it, bigger and better. But again, I'm really excited with what we did. So I need to get back to the questions and see what else we've got because there's probably 30 of them since I stopped the movie. See, I need someone to read these off for me because I'm gonna like.
Someone was asking if you would do this with other movie or the rest of your movie.
Yes. So this is to answer that question. Meredith said that you want to like kind of read off who's asking you questions too and stuff.
But it was up on
earlier.
earlier.
Here, if you want, you can, because they're not rolling as fast. Sorry, guys. We're learning as we go here. So somebody asked if we're going to do this with the other movies, and yes, that is the plan. As I said before the movie started, the original idea was to do a watch party of The Rake, the 2015 feature-length movie that we produced that got released in 2018 by Sony Pictures. The thought behind that was that The Rake has been out now for almost 2 years, and there's about 15 minutes of footage on the cutting room floor that no one has ever seen. And I really, really love that footage, and so I'd love to be able to get people to see it. And when I talk about it with people, they are like, oh, I need to see that footage. You know, it's really cool. And so the original thought was, why don't we do a watch party of The Rake? We'll watch the entire movie, and then during this kind of discussion time period, we'll cut away to some of this unseen footage, and I can kind of explain to people where it fell into the story and, you know, what's going on in it and whatnot, and allow people to kind of see some of this stuff that no one's ever seen before and make this a unique experience. And so, you know, at this point, we decided when Jim Peterson and Kiko Edward decided, you know, why don't we stop laughing at me, damn it. You know, these guys are making faces over here. But promise, we're social distancing, I swear. They're like 10 feet away from me, and we're not coughing on each other. But, so, you know, when we originally talked about setting this up, they said, well, we should probably do something shorter first. And so that's where Jim is a really big fan of A Chance in Hell and asked if we could screen this one first. And it ended up being a really great idea. And so, you know, we confirmed it all last night at about 11 p.m. And that's why we're, you know, here right now. And I slammed everybody's news feed with promotions of this today on Instagram and Facebook. So, again, thanks for coming and checking it out. Next question.
Let's see. Someone asked how you raised the budget for it. Let's see. I'm trying to find it.
So, is it scrolling so you can't see who's asking what question? So somebody asked.
Red Clark asked, "How did you raise the budget?"
Red Clark, the director of Gray Matter. It's an awesome movie, dude. So we raised the budget. Honestly, we made this movie for $9,000. Majority of this film was sweat equity. You know, we got a lot of donations in terms of not just time and talent, but you know, a lot of the catering and stuff was donated, and we spent $9,000 on location, special effects, some props and stuff, some food, you know, things like that. But really, it was $9,000 for an 8-day shoot, and that included post-production and everything. Which, you know, luckily, my buddy Shea Vilwalk had a studio in his basement where he was doing a lot of sound and like music recording, but they also did some video production stuff too. And they're actually one of the producing companies. It's Glass Wall Productions. They had a studio space, and he allowed me to use the studio space for the editing suite, as well as all the sound, the post-sound work was done there. And so, you know, everything came pretty cheap because we had a really great team of people who was willing to be a part of it.
Sean Fury said, loved the dialogue. How long did it take to write the original screenplay?
That's a good question. Honestly, that was 10 years ago, and I've had a few too many cores between now and then to remember how long it took us to write that. But it came pretty quickly. You know, Johnny Hulusik, my co-writer, and myself, and then Kyle Silveira, who's the star of the movie. He plays Sergeant Draper. The three of us were playing a lot of Call of Duty World at War back then, which is the original video game that had the Nazi zombie levels on it. And so we were playing those games and we're really enjoying kind of that concept. And so when Mitch Martinez pitched the idea of doing something narrative and creative with his camera, we said, well, why don't we just do a Nazi zombie short film? And we can always make it the opening of a feature-length potential movie here. Because at the time I was developing another film called Sweet Dreams, which was an anthology film that actually includes Graham O'Malley's Pantry, which is now in Skeletons in the Closet, and a couple other short films that we never ended up producing. And so the three of us sat down, we talked about the ideas, and then Johnny and I went and wrote the script. He did majority of the writing, but he popped it out pretty quick overall. So I want to say maybe a couple of weeks to get the 35-page script done.
Shay Wilcock wants to know if you would ever consider doing another short.
Actually, yeah, I was pitched by a good friend of mine, Anthony Williams, the idea of doing a script that we've kind of talked over a little bit, and the original idea was to go into production in March or April and kind of take advantage of what Chicagoland looks like in the springtime. Which, if you want to get an idea of what that looks like and do not live in the area, watch The Rake, which is available on Amazon Prime, or in the next week or two when we do our watch party, you can see it. It's a very drab, gray kind of look where, you know, things haven't, the green leaves haven't started showing up yet, and everything's pretty much wet because it's either raining or the snow is melting. So it's a really good setting for a horror movie. And so we were looking at doing a short film that would probably be about 8 to 10 minutes long that we were going to shoot that had a monster in it and a whole bunch of really cool stuff. But at this point with the pandemic, that's been delayed. We do not know for how long, and still trying to mull over whether or not I'm going to go that route and invest some time and money in a short, or if we're going to try and get another feature going, which we have a handful in development right now. So.
Katie Null wants to know, can zombies be real now in the current COVID environment?
You know, that's a really serious question. I mean, let me put it to you this way. I am a proud gun owner, and I went to Cabela's to get some ammo, and they were sold out. So if that says anything about the current climate in terms of people's mentality about the zombie apocalypse, I'd say there's the possibility. But in all reality, I mean, no, certainly not.
Tawny Johnson wants to know, have you ever produced anything outside of the horror genre?
In 2012, I was brought on to direct and produce a grindhouse film called High on the Hog, which stars the late great Sid Haig and Robert Zadar and Joe Estevez, along with a whole bunch of other really awesome people. And like I said, that was a grindhouse movie, so that's a little more crime, sex, drugs, rock and roll, that type of stuff. It's not horror, although because I'm a horror director traditionally, and Sid Haig and Robert Zadar are traditionally horror actors, everybody thinks it's a horror movie, but it's not. It's more of a, like I said, crime, drama. It's got a little bit of violence, action, profanity, lots of sex, lots of drugs, all that fun stuff. So it's a good movie. You can find that on Amazon too, as well as a bunch of other VOD places.
Eric Breitenbach wants to know, ever consider sequels to your films, perhaps as shorts in an anthology, akin to Skeletons?
I don't know about doing sequels to the ideas as shorts. I think that's a really cool idea. It's a great concept, but typically when I have ideas for features, it's at least fleshed out enough to where I would need to have enough of the meat between the scenes for us to get from point A to point B to point C, and it would feel too rushed as a short film. But I think that could be a good idea if I was to go into an idea of a sequel on something without having that prior notion to turn it into a feature automatically. So, but some of my films do have sequels. At this point, It's My Party and I'll Die If I Want To, which is going to be another one of the watch parties we do. We're actually going to do the Choose Your Own Adventure version of it, where you guys will be able to walk through the movie with me, and we will choose which direction the characters go, and if you kill them, you gotta start over again. If you've been to a horror convention and talked to me there, you've probably heard that pitch 1,000 times. But that's going to be a really cool and unique experience, so I really recommend you be a part of that. That's our first movie. I produced that back in 2005. So it takes you back, that's for damn sure. I didn't know what the hell I was doing back then. But that movie has a sequel called You Would Die Too, If It Happened to You. And they take place in the same night, very much like Halloween and Halloween 2. So my thought had always been to, originally it was shoot the sequel. You know, back, we were trying to get that going in 2008, 2009. And ultimately now, since it's been 15 years since we shot the original, I would love to remake the original one, kind of beef up the script a bit and reshoot it, and then at the same time or shortly thereafter shoot the sequel, so that everything kind of falls into place, you know, seamlessly from one to the other.
Nothing so far. Everyone's...
No other questions?
No.
Cool. Well, if nobody else has any questions, you know, I appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us. If you do have another question, you know, throw a thumbs up or something in there really quick so that Meredith sees. She's my lovely assistant who's helping out tonight.
Here we go. If you were shooting A Chance in Hell again, would you change anything? From Casey Lewis.
So Casey was one of the dead people in the movie. You did a great job dying. Yeah, you know, I mean, I think that that's safe to say that any artist, given the chance to go back and redo a piece of art, would change things about it. I think we're all our own worst critics. And, you know, here we are a decade later, and since A Chance in Hell, I've produced and directed 3 feature-length movies, and I think that the amount of experience that I've gained from then to now dictates the fact that there's plenty of things that I would go back and do differently. But what's great about A Chance in Hell is that you can still look at it and say, you know, for 10 years ago, for it really being the first, what I would consider major production that we were, you know, helming, and all the things that came together to make A Chance in Hell what it was, I'm really impressed and proud of it, because at any point in time, anything could have happened that could have, you know, caused it to collapse from underneath our feet, and it would have been hard to salvage. And it's not like it didn't go without its problems. Casey, as you well know, when we were shooting the outside scene at the beginning of the movie where the American soldiers are being attacked by all the monsters, at one point, there was a handful of you that were involved in a skirmish, and the monster, I believe it was you, tackled one of the American soldiers, and he landed on his 1903 Springfield rifle, which was an original World War II rifle, and cracked the stock in half. When you guys walked up to me with that gun in 2 pieces, I about, excuse my language, shit my pants. Because not only was this my friend's gun that he lent me to use, but it's a 100-year-old gun. This antique is worth a lot of money, and I was absolutely petrified that I was going to be murdered by this guy. He was surprisingly very understanding of it, and we got it fixed. I ended up meeting actually at a horror convention, I believe in Cincinnati, at a Horror Hound. I met a guy who was a gunsmith, and I sent him the gun, and he mended the stock, and it ended up, being back to normal more or less. So, but yeah, we didn't go without hitches during production, but all in all, I still think it turned out really great, and it would be difficult for me to go back and say I don't want to redo stuff.
Brandy Boscas asked, "Are you still selling DVDs of this?"
Yeah, we do still have DVDs. They're available at the Scotchworthy website. You can also go to Scotchworthy.com and watch it on the Vimeo there, or not Scotchworthy.com. Sorry, you can go to the Vimeo, find Scotchworthy's Vimeo profile, and you can watch it there. But at this point, if you want to watch it again, this post should still be on my profile here, so you can go back and watch it at any point. And I'm not going to take it down. I figure people should be able to watch it. It sounds like a lot of you guys haven't seen this in a long time, so I'd love for you to watch it whenever you like, and I'm glad you guys are proud of it. And it seemed like, based on the comments that I was reading while we were watching the movie, that everybody was really excited to be watching it again and was really proud of what they did. So yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if there aren't any other questions, again, thanks for being here. In the next week or two, I'm going to continue doing these watch parties. It's really contingent upon when my wonderful crew members here are willing to go through the pandemic storm out there and come and hang out and help me shoot this. So we're looking at doing, like I said, the Choose Your Own Adventure version of It's My Party and I'll Die If I Want To. That'll be an interactive watch party where you will help me choose which direction the characters go. And there's like 19 minutes of footage that's in the Choose Your Own Adventure version that's not in the regular movie. So we can kind of navigate through all these different paths and see where it leads us. And hopefully we'll have a good time with that. When we've done this in the past, a lot of people seem to have a good time with it. We're going to do a screening of The Rake, which is a psychological thriller monster movie based loosely on the creepypasta. It's about an 80-minute movie, and it's got lots of awesome practical special effects. If you haven't seen it, really good performances by the actors, beautiful cinematography, great production design. It's a well put together film. My friends did an amazing job with that movie. And we're also going to watch the 15 minutes of unseen footage from that I'm going to compile for you, and we'll kind of talk through all those things. And then we're also going to, I think, do a Skeletons in the Closet screening. And I think we're going to start that out with a showing of an old short film we did called Open House, which we shot in 2009 out in Pittsburgh. That stars Adrian Fisher, who was the star of It's My Party and I'll Die If I Want To. It's a fun little 7-minute short film, and we'll kick that screening off with that. But aside from that, we're going to try and do a little finagling here with the technical stuff. We're going to try and get some Skyping going on while we're doing this, so that hopefully we can get a couple cast and crew members from these movies on board to a chance and help people. I'm sorry we couldn't get that going tonight to have you guys involved in the discussion. But again, I really am glad that you were a part of it in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed it. And again, everybody, thanks for being here tonight. We'll see you next time.